Mr. Michael Johns was a Desert Storm and Haiti Uphold Democracy veteran. He was born in Syracuse, New York on September 7, 1972. He was in the Army from September 11, 1990 to June 23, 1996. He did a great service for this country, and as well as every other veteran, he should be remembered for his military service.
Mr. Michael Johns was born into a military family. It started back when his grandfather enlisted in the Army during World War II.
So, who was the first person in your family to join the Army?
Well, my grandfather was in the Army actually in World War II.
Due to his father and mother being in the service at the time, he had to move about every 2 or 3 years, and he lived in many states along the East Coast. Due to his father and mother being in the military, it was kind of a given thing that he had to be in the military. He enlisted in the Army in 1990 and went into service right after high school.
During his basic training, he went around to different stations. Some of the stations included standard infantry training, and he also had to go to orientations about the military along with job-specific training. He was 135 pounds when he enlisted in the Army, and after his training, he was about 185 pounds, just from the extra muscle he had built up after he left training. Before his service in Haiti is when he really had a lot of job-specific training, but when he went to Desert Storm, there was really no specific training necessary.
During his service in Haiti, he had to carry around 160 pounds daily during his service time. He didn't get much downtime while he was there. He only got a few days during his service there to just relax and hang out on the beach. He can never be in conflict with anyone in the unit, or they might compromise the mission, and if there were any problems, either him or the other person would be sent to do another job. His platoon's initial job was to set up airfield security within the island, as well as complete surveillance missions. Occasionally, because of how big his unit was, he was sometimes sent out to help out local law enforcement and other things like that. While he was in Haiti, he was armed with an M60 machine gun, an M16 with a grenade launcher, along with his sidearm. His experience with the local people was very good. They were scared, but he expected this since he was part of this huge military, and they were just on this small island. But as time went by, they started to warm up to them. Overall, his experience in Haiti was good, and he enjoyed the experiences as well as getting to know the people there.
During his service in Desert Storm, his squadron's job was to provide security along the border while other units redeployed back to the U.S. Mr. Johns first drove a 10-ton cargo truck filled with supplies and ammunition. Eventually, he was put in the battle, during which he used an M16. The chemical threat was very high, so he wore a chemical protective mask and gear. He also wore a frag vest, which protected him in case of landmines. There was more of an urban environment in Desert Storm. In this mission, there was no easily identified enemy. He says that he enjoyed his experiences.
We asked Mr. Johns which operation was more memorable for him. He responded Haiti because of the unique environment there, as well as the people. We also asked if he ever wished he was home and not serving. He answered by saying that every soldier has his moments when he says to himself, "I wish I was home right now," because of the little communication. One of the last things we asked him was, "Did you ever want to just stop and quit?" He replied there was times when he felt really bad about it, but it was never in his genes to give up. Did you ever feel during your training that you just wanted to give up and leave?
I think I've always had this notion that I never was going to quit anything. So it definitely, there's some points there that I can remember. So really, me thinking this sucks pretty bad. But I just don't think it was ever in my genes or my genetic makeup to just want to walk away and quit. That applied to any school or any type of challenges I had. It was never really something I considered.
After he got out of the Army, he worked in construction for about a year and a half. For about 3 years, he was a private eye. He is currently an abuse desk manager for CenturyLink and resides in Raleigh, North Carolina. We thank Mr. Michael Johns for his service in the U.S. Army.